All right. Welcome to Dwelling of Duels. I'm your host, Evil Sonic, and tonight we have a very special double feature. First, we're going to do a Dwelling of Duels Brevity Month listening party. What is a Dwelling of Duels Brevity Month listening party? There are three things in that phraseology. Dwelling of Duels is a video game music cover competition. Brevity Month is when that competition features music that is 60 seconds or less. I forgot what the things I said were. Dwelling of Duels Brevity Month. Double feature. The double of this feature is that we'll be joined by a very special guest. John Stacy. You may know him from a couple of dozen or so medal winning tracks in DoD history. You may also know him from doing the banner art this month. Or you may know him as the easiest person to follow at MagFest because he's 6'11" and has a cowboy hat. So whenever you're in a crowd, you just look for John Stacy and you know you'll find friends. Now, because this is Brevity Month and the tracks are 60 seconds or less, we are going to do a slightly different format than usual. We're not going to have station breaks. We're just going to do a straight block all the way through. And we also have cutting edge technology that has a 10-second break in between each song. That cutting edge technology was, I dropped all the songs in Reaper and I made 10 seconds of silence and I bounced all the tracks. So it says you just heard and then the track name -DOD. I couldn't get the DOD out of there. It's enough that I got the anonymous DOD contestant out of the front. Anyway, we're going to listen to some music. We're going to be joined by John Stacy. Quick two things I want to mention. At the very end of the party tonight, or not the very end of the party, but at the very end of the music, after the alts, we are going to play a song that came in after the deadline. It was a great main effort from somebody who was in a time zone other than this one. I think they were off by an hour. The website was up, but the music was made. We're going to listen to that music. There's also a track in here where the music on the website is not mastered, but the song in the listening party tonight is mastered. I will have to double check which that one is. I can't just say who it was because this is an anonymous contest and that would be breaking anonymity. And the little clock says I've been talking for 4 minutes, which is that we're I'm 4 tracks behind already. This is Dwelling of Duels. I'm Evil Sonic. Keep it right here. Still Dwelling of Duels.
Ladies and gents, the following match is scheduled for one fall. Weighing in at 140 pounds, the matron of seventh heaven, it's Tifa!
Yo, float like a mobile sting like the killer queen. Watch me level up and stop on the result screen. Murders with these blows, Machiavellian with this flow. Swole like Ifrit, welcome to the gun show. Ain't from Shaolin, but I'm steady shadow boxing. Rocking any fiend around who wanna go toe to toe. Got Shenmue foes running scared like they chocobo. I'm only getting started with this rhythm and flow. Hit you with that dolphin blow, got your potions running low. Somersault to water kick, leaves your wig split. Premium hearts, got you open going for that crit hit. Philly shell defense, enemies can't see me giving out more slaps than bitches at the honeybee. Born and bound on heaven, but tonight I'm raising hell. Genova, Sephiroth, Scarlet, they all fail. No matter the challenge, my resolve won't shake. Cause I've got motherfucking limits to break.
IndyCar racing.
I broke my teeth. Yes, I broke my teeth. I can't get no relief. Can't even chew my peas. From my tail to my nose, I am full of woes. That's just how it goes. Whoa, I bent my tail. Yes, I bent up my tail. I used to know it well, but now it's all out of skin. From my tail to my nose, I am full of woes. That's just how it goes. Whoa. Tell him, Manon. Come on now. Woo! Oh, yeah. You got it. Oh, better to die to a thresher ball with shotgun blasting roaring ball than to play ambassadorial games with the blood of Shiagar in my veins. Off to fight since Turians can't. with diplomats instead of a grant. But I'll be true to Chonka's dream and live and die a Krogan queen. For I am a Krogan queen. And it is a glorious thing to be a Krogan queen. For I am a Krogan queen.
I'm a Krogan queen.
And it is a glorious thing to be a Krogan queen.
It is hurrah for a Krogan queen, hurrah for a Krogan queen.
Mi vida doy, no puedo no más por ti. Sé muy bien, no habrá nadie más. Será volverte a ver, un sueño sin fin se queda.
Cause I'm the spherical lyricist turning earth into a pale blur. Time reverses on my verses till the words are misheard. You fold like Nyquist, stumped by my alias. Look from my stereo like signals from the aliens. From Sega to SETI, off man to Yeti, I make a drive, feel alive, throwing bits like confetti. 16 reasons why you still need the manual. Without a picture, it's just like Nick at the annual. What are you waiting for? Don't need a perfect score, just even want more. Perforate every pore like a foil, let's oil, make a foil like a herbivore. Hot signals in your area, a brain like a brayer. Black tar to make you gray, matter grayer. I think my sound was extinct, cause I'm the single player. Sonic waves in your brain, dusting up your knuckles just to punch the pain. Chronic, but I can't complain. Save child to the chaos and the hope remains. Sonic waves in your brain, dusting up your knuckles just to punch the pain. Chronic, but I can't complain. Save child to the chaos and the hope remains. And the hope remains.
Three, two, one, let's go.
Geralt, what's this stuff for you? I'd suck every last drop out of you. Do you desire it?
Not what I came for. You looked different in the tapestry.
All right. You just heard. There's no way I'm gonna do all that. This is 37 songs. I'm not gonna say them all. You just heard a goddamn half-hour plus worth of non-stop bangers. Damn, I mean, Brevity Month. Maybe we should do this like 4 times a year, because those are some great tracks. I mean, I'm saying that as though the tracks aren't great when you don't have a hard cap on your time limit, but y'all went all out this time around. Hang on, I gotta message John Stacy. Hey John. Hope you're well. I know you said to message you when the alts were starting. Well, The alts are starting. So, spoiler alert, DoD. Usually, we're Johnny on top of it when it comes to doing our tech checks. But this week we got, I don't know if you all know, but, you know, this part of the world got slammed by an inordinate amount of snow. So John Stacy's from Texas, where they don't get snow. But John Stacy got snow. So, like, hell froze over. Doesn't happen. I'm up here in New England where we get plenty of snow, but we got like a lot of snow. It is a dog's height worth of snow. And I know that because I had to shovel out a path for her to run in, and I can see, and I'm like, oh, like when she's in the little path I dug, the rest of the snow is as tall as she is. So we got that much amount of snow. I don't know if it's an official unit, but we got it. Dwelling of Duels is a monthly video game music competition. That's why we're all here. We're not here to talk about snow. Stop talking about snow, Cyril. I chose you because you were the first name I saw in the chat. Dwelling of Duels. We're gonna have some alts. We have some votes. This is the thing that's it's screwing me up because we normally have station breaks and I have a plan and there's like a pattern. So this is a contest, so there is voting. We vote on sliders. You slide left if you don't like it. You're not gonna need to slide left this month. You're gonna be sliding right. You slide right when you like it. The votes count for more when you write reviews. If you check out that link to the Mega Mixtape website, there is a super handy dandy. I love that format. I love that interface. You can check out all these month's entries. You can write your reviews. When you write reviews, your votes count for a little more. It's not like overturn the government, democracy's not a thing, your votes count for more. It's like it just gets a little, a little bump. Just a little nudge. It's a good thing to write reviews because the whole thing about DoD, what I love about Dwelling of Duels, is that yes, it's technically a contest. I always like to think of this as a workshop. It is a place where we are working to hone our skills, not just in terms of performance, but there's also arrangement, there's production. It's a process, you don't just become amazing overnight. You practice and you work on it. Sometimes you catch the things that you need to work on. Sometimes you don't, and that's where it's really helpful to get reviews. My biggest breakthroughs in terms of my own mixing and my production has come from like offhand comments that people make when they're talking about my music. So talk about the music. It's so important, it's so much fun, it's so good. And honestly, writing reviews is a skill. There's so many people who say, I can't write reviews, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yet. You can start by saying, I like this song. I don't like this song. We might tease you a little bit, but it is a skill, it is a muscle. You gotta work at it, you gotta practice, We're talking about practice. But writing reviews is it's a skill that you can develop, where you start by like, this music makes me dance, to you should cut the mud at like, you gotta cut the sub frequencies below 80 hertz, and you gotta get a mid boost in there. At some point, some people know what that means, some people don't. You're not imbued with this knowledge. It develops, it happens. We're all works in progress. Dwelling of Duels is a place where works of progress come together to make works of progress. Luffs are the friends we make along the way. And what else are we talking about? We're talking about Patreon. Damn it, no. I typed it wrong. Patreon. If you are a patron, a supporter of Dwelling of Duels, you get to join our super secret supporters only channel where you get a... So there's a lot of cool stuff about the Patreon's channel. Once a year, we check in with them to sort of figure out what our... We do a Patreon poll to figure out some of the themes for the next year. But one of the benefits that you get as a Patreon is you get a head start on the next month's theme where you get to see the banner art a few days early. Patrons know what the February theme is. It's a good one. I'm excited about this one. And the art, oh my god, the art. It's so goddamn good. I can't wait to talk about this art. I can't wait for you to see this art. If you're a patron, you've seen this art and you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a patron, you might want to think about it just to see the art. And you know, one of the things that we do with the art is that we put it up on our Threadless store. We've been doing... DoD has a Threadless store. When I turn my camera on for the John Stacy interview, you will see one of my DoD shirts. We have been doing prints for all of the banner arts. I'm a little bit behind on some of them. Darmok, I think I need to get yours up there. Yeah, I'm behind. But yeah, it's cool stuff. I have 8 Threadless DoD shirts. That might be too many shirts. I don't know. It's not... There's not a hard set rule. And what we talk about? We talk about voting. We talk about Patreon. Keep it anonymous. Review... the results will come out in a few days. We'll all know who did what then. But in the meantime, please keep it to yourselves. We like it when the voting is anonymous. There's no bias in the voting or the reviews. And there are a couple other things I could talk about, but I have been talking for what experts say is too long. It is time for more music. I beg of thee, keep it right here. This is Dwelling of Duels. Stay for the alts.
She's not happy.
Pretty mama does not want to see your dong.
All right. You just heard alts. You heard all the alts. But you're not allowed to leave yet. We're going to have John Stacy come on for his banner artist breakdown. And John, I don't know. I know you're in the Sono bus. Can you say something? Are you able? I heard you typing earlier.
Yeah, I can say things. There's just a lot of stuff suddenly happening in my house. Give me just like 30 seconds.
So I don't know if anyone else heard that, but there are a lot of things happening at the Stacy household. Here's what I'm going to do.
Okay, we should be good.
Okay, we're going to be good. We're not ready just yet. We do have one more song to play. This is a late submission. We're going to play this, and then we're going to check back, and we're going to keep it right here. This is a song that came in after the deadline. It'll be on the website eventually, but you're getting a sneak peek right now. Hey everyone, this is Dwelling of Duels. I'm Evil Sonic. John Stacy's going to be joining me in just a minute. Keep it right here. All right. John, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. I'm going to ask that we take a brief pause because I've been sitting here for about an hour and a half and I have to go somewhere. I'm not going to say where it is because this is a family program. We don't have that sort of toilet talk on here.
Oh, of course.
Hang on. This is a good opportunity. Let's dial you in. Let me add some compression on that John Stacy voice. John, do you have a camera going on?
I mean, I thought I did.
If you do, in the Video Ninja, send me that link.
This one.
Oh, yeah, there it
Okay.
is. I'm going to copy that. Mixer cam. I call it the mixer cam because usually this is a mix breakdown. Oh, I can see that face. So I haven't put this up on the screen yet.
So I should probably hide everything behind me and all that.
I mean, it's you got a pretty blank wall behind you, John. I don't know what you need to hide. What I'm gonna do, what I would like to do, John, I'm gonna ask your permission for this, and if the chat thinks this is fucking egregious, we won't do it. I'd like to put on a 4-minute song, just so I can do a few things.
That's fine. Up to you.
If anyone in the chat thinks this is, an abuse of power, I'll ban you. I won't actually.
Yeah. What? You can't ban people from Twitch. They'll find a way to come back.
I mean, I can do whatever I want. I'm the chief of police. Okay. Where's the song I'm looking for? I'm gonna download this song right now. Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna use this one. I just saw this one in here. I've got it here already. This is gonna give me some time to take care of what needs getting taken care of. Alright. Yeah, Darmok is correct. I should actually probably be banned. In the meantime, I beseech thee, keep it right here. So, okay, here's what is about to happen. There's going to be a brief musical interlude where you're going to hear a DoD classic. This is a literal fucking classic, one of the very few songs to score an Incredible. When that song is over, the indomitable, indestructible, inedible John Stacy is going to be joining me for a banner artist breakdown where we talk about the banner art he did this month, his entree into video game music, his hopes, his dreams, his everything in betweens. It's going to be good. And so keep it there's not going to be a 20-minute longie. It's a classic, but it's even if it's like, over 5 minutes, it'll feel short because it just rocks you every second of the way through. Keep it right here. This continues to be Dwelling of Duels. Duels, duels, duels. All right. We are here. I'm getting the backing music in good order. There we go. John, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And I also realize I can put my phone with the chat on it right here, so I don't look like I'm just looking off into the nothing, you know?
You have a good you've got a good line of sight going on. I feel like you're talking right to me. Can you boost your volume just a little bit? I gave you some compression, but if you can nudge that guy up.
I can compress on my end. One moment. Sometimes I feel a lot older than I am because it's like how use computer. You know, so if I turn it up, I can turn it up a lot, but I don't want it to be too much.
Oh, that's perfect. I don't know how I sound right now to the masses, but you just came through at a perfect volume on my end.
Yeah, plus I have a gate on it, so you shouldn't hear any noise.
Yeah, no, it's coming through crisp and clean. Evil Sonic is low. Well, I better get high.
Have you ever considered he likes being that way?
It's not impossible. Low and evil, crunchy.
I could totally mess with people. I just realized that. Like, let's do this.
Oh. So.
No, I won't do that.
So what's the ransom demand? John's clipping. I'm gonna nudge him down on my end. He sounds good on my end, but I'll bring him down a little bit.
Well, this is a problem I've been having in Reaper, is that it seems to be complete random when it'll clip or not. There have been times that I'm at +7 or 8 and it's not clipping. And then there are times I'm at like -10 and it's clipping. So I have no idea what's going on with Reaper lately.
Yeah.
Right now I'm hitting at -6 is where my peaks are.
It's a delicate dance. It's a matter of finesse. John, it's good to see. I mean, I just saw you a few weeks ago IRL, but this is fun. I'm glad I get to see you again so soon after.
Right. It's always a good time to see you, man.
We're here tonight because you made some art, and this is not the first art you arted for DoD. We're going to talk about art. We're also going to talk about music. We're going to talk about video games. Just to kind of start, like, okay, so how are you doing? Like, I know the world has been hammered by snow. How is it in Texas right now, vis-a-vis ice and snow and lovely weather for a sleigh ride together?
Well, we actually didn't get it as bad because I live in Lubbock, and there were some other parts of the state that got hammered. I want to say that at the worst we only got like 6 inches. I think it was 8 over the whole time. And the other thing is that because it stayed so cold compared to what it could have been, most of the snow was around 10 degrees, so we didn't have the ice problem. Normally in Texas, the problem is that it stays right around freezing. So all of that snow will melt and then refreeze into an ice sheet. And yeah, that's the problem. This time we didn't really have that as much.
Obviously, Dwelling of Duels is a Twitch channel where we talk about precipitation and climate and weather. But I mean, I'm joking, not joking, but I do remember a few years ago you had it pretty bad for a while.
Yeah. Basically, it was like the population of the whole country of Guatemala just showed up on the power grid because it was all the way down to the far south, and you had these people that had never had to turn on a heater suddenly had to crank it for like 7 days straight, and it was odd because people in Laredo, if it goes below like 50 degrees, that is cold to them because the entire time, no matter what time of year, they're used to like 60 to 120 degrees. Like that's the range that they live in.
Yeah.
So this wasn't that, thankfully. There was a line about halfway down the state where things didn't go lower than so.
Yeah. Up here we had I think I haven't like gone out and measured it, but I'm pretty sure there's like 1.5 feet of snow in our yard. It's one of those things that's a little bit weird when I'm driving around, and I don't know if it's one of those things where if you're on like a busier road, that just by the fact that there's more traffic and there's for some reason or other it doesn't accumulate as much. But I swear when I'm driving around I see like 6 inches to a foot. I'm like, how did you not get the 18 inches I got? And it's like a mile or two away. It's not like, I don't know. I have taken us very, very far from the subject of video game music. John.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Let's talk. Okay. When we do these banner artist breakdowns, I like to talk about a few different things. We like to talk about video games. We like to talk music. We like to talk art. We also like to talk about the combination of those things. We've heard a lot of your music tonight. It's pretty goddamn good. I've always been a fan. I think I know you had entered DoD earlier, but I think your entrance when you like came into the scene and started doing stuff as a primary arranger and doing a little bit more was right around the time that I had my. It was when I was doing my COVID catching up and getting caught up on DoD. I remember August 2020 was like one of the first months where I was listening to the music, writing reviews, and that was you had a pretty awesome song that month. I am blanking on it right now, but I'm checking. August 2020.
The first
you were
time
you were on a
November
Sixto Sounds track
of that year. Oh right, yeah. The one that's just the lick over and over.
Pokemon trading card game. Your first entry, I think. Okay, so this is interesting, and I'm curious. You submitted a solo track in January of 2017 for Brevity Month. And then you noped out for like 3.5 years.
Well, so the...
Tony has entered the chat.
I love you, Tony. But anyways, so the thing there was that Sixto actually convinced me to enter. And this was 2 days before the deadline. And so I wrote a quick little thing and then recorded it and just threw some effects on it. And I placed like 25th, I think.
22nd.
Which,
not bad.
yeah, somewhere around in there. And I was a little bit frustrated because I'm like, oh, I can't compete with the guitars. Like, and so that's why I noped out, is because it was like, oh, the community here and everything is very metal centric.
We suck.
And I don't do that.
No.
Well, it's like, that's just not what I do. So I'm not going to make a deal about it. And so then I kind of left. And then I have been interacting with people from the community since 2013, 2015. So it's like, okay, I know a lot of these people, and then they're like, you should enter again. And it was Sixto who convinced me to record on his track. And then after that, actually it was Yusuf. I was talking with Yusuf, and he's like, oh, let's do a thing. And so I threw together an arrangement, and we recorded it, and that was it.
Yeah, that was the November 2020 Jazz vs. Funk month. You came in 5th out of 20th. That was a great track. That was a really great month. And I'm not just saying that because that was the month I reached, like I submitted for the first time in like 10 years or so. And I had like a slide left ranked entry, but that was a good month. I kind of wonder, like, John, what would you do if we had a Jazz vs. Funk month now? Because you know the community more, you know, like the DoD ins and outs. Like, we're not going to do another Jazz vs. Funk month anytime soon. So if you can break a non, if we did a Jazz vs. Funk month now, what would you do?
Probably the same thing I always do. I would just get the Phantom of West Texas guys on it and just do it. As for sources, like, I'm not really a jazz guy anymore. I do some fusion stuff, but I'm really doing this more classically oriented kind of thing now.
Yeah.
So, lots of choices, but it's like, do I want to do my standard format, or do I want to do something new? And I think it would be fun to do like a almost avant-garde John Coltrane Ascension kind of thing over the Music to Wario's Woods.
Oh, that sounds so cool. I mean, this is the thing, like, I agonize over this all the time because by virtue of what DoD is, it's an anonymous competition. We only have 3 or 4 days to like sit with this music and take it in and cast our votes about how we feel. And that vote is the thing that determines the place, which is the thing that lives on the website forever. But obviously music takes longer to really dig in. You know, like, you might hear something and then maybe days go by, weeks go by, months go by, or longer. And, like, you feel it again, and I don't know. It's one of those things where there's not a perfect answer on how to, like, make this optimal. But this is my biggest thing whenever people talk about how stuff places. I want to do like I want people to break free of like just the idea of how things place in the moment matters, and figure out like how to digest this and revisit it and keep it fresh and coming back to it for longer. Because, and John, you are a musician that this is 100% true for, because like me, I'll just fucking do a 1-to-1 cover. Like I'm basic about my arrangements. You do a lot more with your arrangements. You go up a level or two, and sometimes it takes a while for that seed to get implanted in people's brains and like take root. But oh god, DoD is great. It's imperfect. Obviously, we're here to talk about your banner art from this month.
Right. Well, that's kind of a fun thing, is that, you know, when it comes to anything I do with art, it basically is done to solve some kind of issue. And so I don't really have a history of it as an artist. And so if it was just about the art, there wouldn't really be much to talk about, because I could tell you what I did. But like, everything that I do visually exists because something needed it to. Like, the reason I learned how to model in 3D is because we needed, for a Game Brass video, a short clip of a pot breaking and then something coming out of it, like a Legend of Zelda pot.
Mm.
And we ended up cutting that scene. But I learned how to 3D model just so that I could 3D model a pot so I could break it.
That's really fucking cool.
That's it. But, and then, like, you know, for the banner thing, the first banner I did in 2021, Catajune basically was like, oh, I forgot to hire a banner artist this month. Any of you lot want to do it? And I was like, oh, sure. So I actually reached out to my sister, because she's a real artist. She actually does this. And I was like, hey, can you do the thing? And so she was going to do the art, and then she messaged me about the day before it was due saying, oh, by the way, I did get to it. A lot of stuff happened. And I was like, oh. So I did my first banner because we needed a banner.
I had no idea that was the way of it. That's such a DoD story. Kind of the like, the day before the deadline, you find out, oh, by the way.
Well, that's my life, is the whole thing where it's, okay, something I'm involved with is in a situation of need. I'm going to step in and do the thing. You know, I'm going to do my very best. And that one wasn't really her fault. She was having a hard month. But, so it's like, okay, what is the bare, what boxes do I need to check for this banner to be good? And it was like, well, it just needs to basically demonstrate what it is.
It's
and
quick.
I'm like, well, okay, I can't draw. So I'm just going to use pixel art. And I'm going to just make a pixel art scene, because I can do that. And there we go. And then it's like, well, let's make it music. Let's just take the Runaway 4 and just stick them on the banner. And then, well, there you go. It's a banner. And then I can put my jokes in it. Every time there's a number in the Super Metroid display, I'm going to change it to 69, because of course.
Yeah.
And then, you know, put the date in the mini-map there. Co-op the text. You know, if there's not a letter that I need in the text, then I just create it from splicing another thing. But it's like, did I know how to do all of that beforehand? Yes. Is that a skill I practice? No.
That's one of the things I love about DoD. I feel like there are people who knew me in my life at like really important times where I was just insufferable because of my experience with DoD and this concept of like, you have an amount of time to do a thing. Here are the things you have at your disposal, and you just cram it together like Apollo 13. You know, you get your vacuum cleaner to hook into the battery, and that's how you get them home. I remember in college I had a lot of friends who were film video people, and I was always like trying to tell them, I was probably a jackass and telling them like, you guys should, you know, go out of your comfort zone more and do things with like less stuff and see what it comes up with. And they were like, no, we have this nice camera, so we're going to use it. We're not going to like force ourselves to do something less good just for the challenge. Okay.
Well, I don't like to word it this way, but I was basically trained for the DoD kind of environment. The rapid deadline, use what you have. My degrees are in music composition, and I studied under Dr. B.J. Brooks, and his big thing for all of his composition majors was you need to learn the boxes to check so something qualifies for what you're trying to do. So if you're writing, you know, for one, you're never supposed to write a new composition for a contest. But if you do, you look at, you know, what's the smallest ensemble you can write for, and it'll qualify. And then what's the shortest length that you can? What's the least amount of complexity that would be competitive for that? And you just get this list of the minimum boxes to check. And then you spend all of your time checking those boxes, and any extra time goes to doing extra stuff. Well, if you look at DoD, you know, both with the banner art and with the actual music competition, well, you have a bunch of boxes that you need to check for it to even be considered an entry. And once you get those boxes checked, you're going to have an entry that will work. Like, placing is irrelevant. You'll have an entry that'll work. People will listen to it. People will enjoy it. But then, once you get those checked, you put more and more time as you have it to going above and beyond. And that's, you know, like anytime I do a brevity entry, which happens a few times, I'm always trying to think of how can I structure the form of this 1 minute so that it sounds like it's intended to be a minute long and not like I took a longer track and just cut it. And that's the minimum box for brevity, but I make it sound complete. And that's always been the goal. You know, I have done all the stuff in video game music after graduating. So I basically spent my whole time in the community after having that training, you know, slammed into me.
So, obviously, without talking about what you did for Brevity Month this year, because we don't want to spoil it on, but when you do a brevity track, I mean, this is one of those things that when you listen to these old Nintendo, Super Nintendo sources, there are a lot of really good songs that are 45 seconds to a minute and a half or so. They're things that, as they are written, could exist within a minute. Is that something you gravitate towards, or how do you choose the music that you want to fit into a minute? Are you trying to find something that's a minute of original music that you're picking from, or because like I'm a joke with brevity. Like the only time when I've done brevity, and it's when I have done brevity, it has been taking like, you know, Dancing Mad or One Winged Angel to and like what is the longest piece of music I can take and fit it into a minute as cohesively as possible. That's my shtick. I don't have, like, when I've done brevity besides that, it hasn't been good. Like, that's the only thing I can do. What's your brevity approach? Like, are you choosing a full-length source, or are you choosing a shorter source?
The source is usually irrelevant unless I have a specific reason to think of one. I'm always thinking of the format that I want to do, because like the MagFest theme, which was done there, I knew I wanted to do a commercial kind of thing, and so I was thinking, okay, well, let's do this commercial thing and let's have the voiceover. And then I knew the joke I wanted to do. You know, I just wanted to have that just overcooked, clipped, balls to the wall trombone. And so I was like, well, what can I do there? And then it's like, well, Trombone of Time. That's going to be the joke. And then it's like, well, let's just pick some stuff from Ocarina of Time, the title theme. That would be fun. Because what? That big interval jump. Well, I can just... That sounds great if I just overcook that. And then picking everything else was just there. Midnight Grapefruit was a few years ago. In that one, I wanted to do this jazz fusion saxophone lead kind of thing. And then it's like, okay, so what can I do that would work with there? And then usually 8-bit chiptune kind of stuff works nicely for that, the Jazz Fusion format, because you can do a lot with it. So then it's just a matter of, okay, I know the format I want to do. I have found a source that's compatible with that format, check the boxes for form, and then produce the thing. And there are 2 that I've started but ended up not submitting because I ran out of time, and I'd like to bank those. Usually these are like 10 to 15% finished. You know, I may have an arrangement sketched down, but it's not really anywhere, so I don't really talk about those, but the logic would apply the same. You know, like one day if I was thinking like, what would be a fun thing? What if I wanted to do, you know, like a joke where you are sitting at a restaurant and there's an obnoxious mariachi band that is playing just way too loud on the other side of the room. So then I just pick a source that would make sense in mariachi and then do the production where it sounds like they're on the other side of the building, just playing obnoxiously too loud. And that would be a fun joke, you know?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I did in Twitch here. I need to remember how... I didn't break it. I just need to fix it. But we're talking... so one of the things we're going to talk about is art. And I know you shared some of your pieces here. Okay, I've got it working. So I know you said you approach art out of a place of necessity. But that said, you make some pretty good art. Like when I do art out of necessity, the best example I can think of art that like I did was, this is such a stupid story. I'm going to feel so dumb talking about this, but like when I was living in Boston in my early to mid 20s, the MIT had a really cool science museum there. And they had a thing where it was like, oh, so when kids come to visit, draw your invention. And the thing I did, because I was a dumb 22-year-old, was I did it all left-handed so it looked unhinged. And I just drew like a robot with a pasta strainer, and I said, "Pasta bot cooks your noodles." Mike, age 22. Like, so.
Oh, that's glorious.
So that's like, I know my skill set, and if I'm not good at something, I'm just gonna lean into being bad at it. But when I look at the stuff that you've done with your art, I don't think that. I look at this and like you talk about doing it out of a place of necessity, that it's down to the wire last minute. I think, oh, it's going to be rushed, but it looks good. It looks polished. I wouldn't know that it was under a deadline or out of necessity. And I think I want to start. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to start with your YouTube banner. Putting that up on the screen. The fuck? Twitch is telling me there's a commercial break in progress, and I'm trying to see what's going on in the stream. Okay, there it is. So this is your YouTube banner. Tell me about this. Like...
Okay, so I didn't take the photo. It's actually a royal free photo, but I've been to that exact spot. That photo was taken, like, I can't remember exactly where, but it's south of Midland and quite a bit west. Taken pretty much as close to the sunset as you can get while it's still being completely dark. So, I could have taken the photo. I didn't. But the art is just this is actually a very simple thing. The text is just Crossman with a drop shadow, and then the whole thing has a noise filter over it. There's actually a few things about me that affect the way I do things. I don't know if you've ever heard of visual snow, but I've had visual snow my whole life. And the way that I found out was that I would put a layer of noise over everything and a layer of static. And somebody asked me, why do you do that? I'm like, well, it makes it more realistic. And I got this super confused look. Like, what do you mean realistic? And I'm like, well, you know that layer of static that's over everything? I just put that into the image.
Whoa.
And it was like, the what? You know, the lady with the carpet cleaner. The what? So anytime that you'll see a piece of art from me, you'll almost always see a thin layer of noise over it, just because I can't live without it. So, this is a very simple thing, but this is the idea of necessity, is that whenever I was doing a push to get more YouTube things, I said, you need a banner. And so I think this was about 400 subscribers. It's like, you need a banner. And I was like, okay, I'll make one. So that's the necessity thing. It's a royalty-free photo of a place that I've been. It's very West Texas. That's my name in a very simple font with a drop shadow and visual snow over it.
So first of all, that idea of the visual snow and that being like how you see the world, like I'm bouncing back and forth between just like curiosity and like breaking down, sobbing, thinking about like Vincent van Gogh and like how brilliant people see the world. And you threw a lot at me, John. I'm trying to take it in.
Well,
that's like.
Well, it's very lighthearted,
I know it's lighthearted, but it's also beautiful in its way. And the other piece of this, I'm still like, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like, that doesn't look like a photo. That looks like paint on canvas. Like that's a sunset in Texas.
Yeah, it's like, this is one of the things that like is a little bit weird, but like the sky looks different here. You step outside and a lot of times, especially at a sunset, it'll look like a painting. And I don't really know if that's really true, that it's unique to here, but I should at some point, there's a project I'm working on. It's this fantasy story thing, and I'll tell more about it later if we have time, but one of the countries is based off of West Texas, the area where I grew up in. And there's going to be a lot of stuff in there that is just going to be me drawing straight visually from what it looks like out here. And people are going to think, oh, it's a fantasy land. But it's like, no, it's literally just the landscape around where I grew up. Because I grew up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
A small town called Greenwood. You drive for 10 minutes and you are suddenly surrounded by nothing for miles. And if you go out there at night, it really does look like this picture. You stare at the sunset, there's nothing on the horizon. You literally just get to see it transition the colors to that kind of a shape. And then if there are clouds in the sky, they'll shade themselves like that. And that's literally just what it looks like out here.
That amazes me. Like I know I know we're here to talk about video game music and stuff, but like that idea of just how you can go a short distance and be in a completely different world. I've had a lot of that throughout my life. Not to turn it all on me, but just to share a little bit. But I grew up in New Jersey, and I'm like in New Jersey. I'm from a place that I think has been described as the least New Jersey part of New Jersey, like the part that is where you can understand why it's called the Garden State. But it's a lot of farmland, and if you drive 20 minutes in one direction, you're in Princeton, and it's, you know, academia and culture and all of that. And if you drive 20 minutes in another direction, it's Hamilton, and it's, you know, less and 20 minutes a different direction, it's rural, there's farmland. It's just, you know, whichever way you go, it's a completely different scene. And then after college, living in Boston, or in Brookline, it was the sort of thing where if you go a mile one way, you're in the middle of these incredibly affluent neighborhoods, and then a mile in a different direction in just, you know, absolute poverty. And it's weird how much the scenery changes. That's what this art is evoking in me. I know it may not necessarily be what you were going for when you were posed with the question of you need a YouTube banner, and thinking about like, okay, so you picked this photo from West Texas, but this is what we're talking about right now, and this is what's coming up in my feel. When you talk about art, you go in weird places.
Well, and it's also kind of we're talking about some of the stuff I'm going forward. You know, my current branding is actually going in the direction where I'm using the Phantom of West Texas as my kind of new brand moniker. And
yeah,
I think a lot of it is just taking stuff that's always been there. And so like using, you know, photographs of the landscape and using things of stuff that I grew up with around here. Well, it just fits that. You know, whenever I was at MagFest, a lot of people were like, oh, you're kind of a character. And I'm like, no, I'm just dressing
just
and acting
you.
like people that I grew up around. I'm just me, and I'm just where I come from. And so like a lot of the stuff that I used to do, where I'm like, oh, let me just add it as flavor to just do the thing. Well, now I'm going in a direction where it's like, well, let me just go all the way with this stuff.
So I don't know a lot about Texas. Most of what I know about Texas is from the Robert Caro biographies on Lyndon Johnson. And he's from Central Texas. And I don't know how different that is.
Pretty.
Fairly different.
So this is one of those things that I will tend to downplay this a little bit, because a lot of times, for obvious reasons, a lot of stuff will get politicized. But like, to kind of describe what it's like out where I am, and because I have lived within 100 miles of where I am now my whole life. And essentially, to give you an idea, people do ride horses to school. And it's not because they don't have cars, it's literally just because it's a more convenient option. You'll have a gas station that looks like it was built in 1940 and has barely been updated, but it still works. You know, people have been maintaining it since then. So in a lot of ways, and I mean this in the most wholesome way I can, is that in a lot of ways you step out here, it's like you're stepping into a much older time. And, you know, a lot of people don't really live in that old time. You know, there's a lot of modern aspects to it. The kids that I teach at the school I teach at have phone struggles just like all kids everywhere else. They'll play video games just like everyone else. They'll be on the internet, you know, but you know, you step outside and, you know, so like, you know, I teach a marching band and we can't do the football games because those happen on Friday nights. And it's because half of my kids have to go work in the farm. And that's just a way of life for them. So when you leave the big cities, the cities, and you go out into the country, which is like where I like to say that I, you know, dwell best in, it really is like you're stepping into 1900 in a lot of ways. Because a lot of these farmers, their parents were farmers, their parents were farmers, their parents were... Not much has changed in that regard.
Yeah.
And there's a beauty to it. Because, you know, I could go on, but yeah, it's like whenever you hear about like Central Texas, like from that biography you mentioned, that's different landscape. It's a lot more hilly, a lot more grass, a lot more trees, and more cities, and etc. Where I am, I don't know, it's like farmland for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of in awe about how we got from one place to another when we're talking about this, but
it happens, man. Especially whenever I don't know how to shut up.
I know, it's great and it's beautiful, it's wonderful. And I mean, also when I say Central Texas, I'm talking about these Lyndon Johnson biographies. This is Central Texas in the early 20th century, because a big part of his story was, you know, before things were developed, and we are off script. I just clicked next on the slideshow to see what would come up after that. And this is a very different kind of image.
Okay, so remember when I talked about the pot and how I was going to learn how to do a pot? The way that I learned to do that was through a Blender tutorial. And this is where I learned that I like computer art as opposed to drawing. Because with computer art, there's a procedural way you can do everything. It's like, click these things, type in these numbers, and if you do it in the right order, you will get this. This is actually a still from an animation that I don't have anymore, but the coffee cup would slide into the shot and it would steam, and then the donut would spin into the frame. But this was my first attempt at art, and you know, it was a lot of fun. One of the things about, you know, me as a person and the artist is that I'm autistic, and I'm learning that one of the things that I do really well with is procedure things, where I have a goal and I can have essentially a program to get to that goal. And 3D art is a lot less about, can you do this? Can you make that happen? And a lot more about, can you conceptualize what it needs to be? And so I like looking back at this one, because it's like, I know what a donut's supposed to look like. I know all the physical things that go into frying a donut. I know what the patterns are supposed to look like on it, just because, well, you put it in hot oil and it gets darker, and it doesn't do that evenly because of all the bubbles. And like, coffee is actually yellow. If you want coffee to look the right color, you just have to find the right shade of yellow and then get the density right. Things like that are like, okay, I can do this. I can't draw, but I can conceptualize.
God, I feel like I'm such a terrible host because I'm hearing you talk about this and I'm just flabbergasted and in awe. I feel like I should have better questions, but I just want to like sit here and feel what we're talking about because that resonates so much. What you just said. God, I'm a terrible interviewer. I'm just a fucking fan.
Well, no, man. If you have questions and ask them, and if you're just like, hey, look at this, talk about it, that works too. You know, it's just whatever it is.
So I feel like I've heard about the Blender tutorial with the donut before. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, it's Andrew Price. He's the guy that owns Polygon. And he's the Blender guru on YouTube. And so he has a number of tutorials for various skill levels. And the donut one is kind of like the de facto. You've never opened Blender before. You've never done anything in 3D. We're going to go from 0 to making an animated donut scene.
Yeah.
Highly recommended.
It is the Wily stage 2 of animation. Like, this is the thing you should do.
Oh, I should do a Wily Stage 2 arrangement, shouldn't I?
Have you not done one?
I've never done one. No.
Here's something you have done.
I actually don't really like Wily Stage 2.
It is what it is. I've tried playing it before. I haven't felt enamored.
Although it's been done so many times, I don't know what I would do to it. Like, okay, so this one, one of the interesting things is, there's no W on the screen in the whatever that text actually appears.
Oh, in the Metroid?
And so the W is actually the M flipped upside down.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to remember what else I did there. There were a few other letters that didn't exist, so I had to... I know I was actually working in the original screen resolution. So, like, whenever I did the thing, I set the resolution to 1:1, and so I did all of that work actually at the original resolution. And so all of these letters that I would have to create were actually pretty easy because I could just draw them in manually with the mouse if I couldn't, synthesize them from another one. And then, like, the time, it starts, I want to say, at 59:55. I can't remember. So I could just copy the 59 and do that. And then the January 2021 in the upper right there, I drew that by hand.
Oh,
I set the energy to 69 because I'm a child.
I mean, no, that one's obvious.
And
you had to do that.
And you might be wondering why the Earthbound guys are green. I'm wondering the same thing. I couldn't get them to not be green, so I just gave up.
So what can you do in a minute or less?
Like, I never claimed to be good about this. Yeah, it's like, I think I did this whole thing in less than an hour. Like, this was, a good
And this was when your sister was going to do the thing, and
the whole
you'd
time,
step in.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Has your sister done DoD art?
I do things out of
since then?
necessity, so. No, I don't really think she does art anymore, which kind of makes me a little sad. She's actually a better artist than I'm a musician. And,
Whoa.
you know, life stuff happens, so she's working other jobs. And I think she does that. Yeah, one of the reasons I never do art is because I was always worried about living in her shadow. Because she was able to, like, at age 4, take the Disney movies we were watching and recreate them by memory. And it would be almost line perfect. See if I can dig some of them, because some of them may have survived. But I remember, like, you know, she drew me a birthday card when I was 8. And it was, what was it? She basically drew me in the style of Rumiko Takahashi. And it was, like, impeccably done. And so it's like, maybe one day she'll do a banner for this again, and it'll maybe her take it back into doing art things, because she needs to be doing that, but just life in the way, you know?
You and I should coordinate on this, because when I hear someone like you say your sister is better at art than you are at music, like, that blows my mind a little bit. And especially, like, okay, so this is the thing, is I know that a lot of people in DoD are professional musicians, and it's the thing they do, and that's awesome, and that's great. For me, I am never going to be a professional musician. That is a thing I'm fine with, I'm cool with. I am an amateur in every sense of the word. Like, DoD can be a place to stretch your wings and do the thing, or experiment. But, like, if you have some talent and you have an interest, this is a place I want that person to come to. So, yeah, if she still, like, if she ever wants to scratch that itch of making art, we should know about that. I want to encourage that. Whatever we have at our capabilities to make that happen, let's do it. Okay. The next image we have here is an image of sheet music. Tell us a little about this.
Okay, I'm trying to remember which one I sent you.
Are you watching on Twitch?
Oh, so this is a fun game that I like to play with each other. Yeah, I have it on my phone, so it's delayed.
Okay.
Unless it's somewhere else. Like, one moment. Oh, the video thing doesn't have it. Okay. But yeah, so I'm watching on Twitch. Okay, so this is a thing I used to do. The only actual physical visual art I do is calligraphy. And so this is an example of whenever I write music by hand. And this was for an assignment, so I made sure it was just slightly more extra pretty than it normally would have been. But, like...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, you did that by hand?
Let me see if it's... Oh, here it is. Yeah. And actually, through pure happenstance, I have this here. This is... I know you've heard of VG lead sheets.
Yeah.
But, like, in the very early days of VG lead sheets, those guys found out that I was running a Tumblr, which was called the Video Game Real Book. And all it was my handwritten sheets of video game tunes.
Is today the day we learn that John Stacy's handwriting is what is on VG lead sheets?
No, that actually was a different thing. I've tried multiple times to create a font of my handwriting because I would like to do that, but we digitized them. You know, I would enter them into Sibelius, export an XML file and then import that. But this is the video game rulebook, and it's all completely written by hand. I can pull out any of these, and they will be consistently there.
Wait, you did that?
There's a fun one. Yeah. And like, there's a fun one
John, you did that?
using. I don't talk about this as proof, like people doubt that I did it, but like some of these I would make a mistake, and so I would actually literally have to cut and paste a new line on there. And so you look at the back, there's a hole there where I had to cut out the measure that I messed up. But here's one. You can kind of see it there. I had to cut that measure out and paste it on there. You can kind of see the line a little bit. But yeah, this is the only actual visual art that I've really done with any kind of consistency. And so the image that was on there a minute ago of the Tetris one, that was the one where I was actually spending a lot of time to make it as nice as possible. And I would have, a little bit of fun with people, asking them, is this typed or is this handwritten? And almost everybody's like, oh, it's typed. I'm like, nah, here's the ink smudges where my hand dragged across it, if you look closely.
John, my mind is still like being
That's
blown
one of the
about.
earlier ones.
Okay, so first of all, John Stacy is the font of VG lead sheets. Can we say that? Is that like more or less accurate?
No, because that's not accurate.
Is it kind of close? Is it kind of close?
A proprietary font.
Is it based on
it's
your
close
handwriting?
enough as handwritten, but no, no.
Okay, so I missed this.
But
okay, I'm completely
there's
confused.
a lineage there. Okay, so like basically, I wrote these out by hand. Like these were. If you go to Tumblr / the video game rulebook, I don't know if it's still there, you would find PDFs of these. And when they were starting VG lead sheets, they were just looking for content. And so I had 125 sheets on there. And so I went into Sibelius, typed this in note by note, so that they could have a digital version. And so any of the ones that you see on the site, transcribed by John Stacy, are the digital versions of these handwritten sheets.
Okay.
And I don't actually know why I hand wrote them, honestly, because I could. But like,
why do men build
the
bridges?
Great Fairy Fountain. I just think it's pretty.
It is.
It's like, why did I learn to read and write Japanese? I can't speak Japanese, but I like looking at giant blocks of characters. And so I like being able to read and write the giant blocks of characters.
Don, we just got a great question from Darmok.
I'm going to do double duty.
So you mentioned that you like to make fonts. Do you have a specific font program that you prefer?
No. The one that I used whenever I was trying this the last time was just one that was at the university I was at. I don't even remember what it was called, but you had access to it on the basement computers in the library. And the difficult thing was actually, how do I get my handwriting onto a font? And, I didn't have a good way to scan it. And so I was trying to use a digital tablet and drawing these in, and it wasn't the same. So that fell through, but I may look into it again. I have my own Sibelius style that I use. Custom fonts, custom everything. The note heads and everything is kind of edited from the Edwin font, but eventually I do want to make a thing where it's all my own handwriting, and just so I can have a proprietary thing. But that's down the road. That's whenever I run out of things to do.
It sounds like you've got a lot of things to do on your plate already. I want to show this next image that you shared, which is
Something like that.
It's a good example of the cut and paste, like the literal cut.
Oh, is this the one I think it is? I find. Okay, let me find that sheet. If I remember right, that is Clockwork.
With that many
that's
16th
Clockwork.
notes, I believe you.
I messed up the spacing on the 7/16 bar. I remember that. Yeah, here it is. No, that actually is that measure right there. Is cut and paste right there. This is a kind of artistic photograph of the thing where the point is not the writing, the point is more about the process. Back whenever I was like brooding artist on the internet, you know, you'd post this picture and just say some kind of vague, just like, an artist's work is never done. You know, just some kind of sappy thing like that. So this picture was, well, just my attempt at an artistic photograph.
It's a good one. I mean, I understand.
Photography is
Like,
a thing
I
I'm
get
starting to get
the.
into, so maybe I'll go back and make.
It tells a story, and like, I look at this and I understand what's going on. It's about the process, and you're like it
Right.
is
Well,
that perfectionism.
Well, and this wasn't even. This tune was requested by somebody that I knew. You know how there's Johnny B. Good?
I've heard
Get
of it.
ready for Dakota C. Good. He's the guy that requested this. But he's like, hey, I want to do Clockwork on a jam. You do video game sheets, right? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I transcribed this one for him and I never touch it. But it's like, who would jam on this tune? Like, really?
Tony.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think that's Clockwork in the photo. Let's see. Yeah, Tony. Dum, 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 dum. I think it's... Oh, no, it's Vampire Killer. This is Vampire Killer. Okay. I have that one somewhere in here.
It's one of those weird things. I love the
Whatever,
music
it's in
from
this-
Castlevania.
This has...
I've never actually covered Castlevania. I gotta do
I'm
that
actually
someday.
going to do some Castlevania arrangements for practice soon. Because, you know, it's in that quasi-Baroque style. It's not really 100% authentic because, you know, you actually look at it and it's not following the same counterpoint conventions in the same way. And I'm not saying that as a knock against it, but part of me wants to go back and get some practice rewriting Castlevania music to follow all of the conventions like 100%.
Ooh.
And that would be great practice, so I'd make these arrangements just so I can have made them, you know, to practice it. But that'll be my first foray into actual Castlevania thing.
Do you want to look at the next photo?
I'm kind of looking over the sheets. Yeah, we can go to the next one.
So we're going into the these are the asks that were used to make the Brevity Month banner art. So this is the DoD guy coin.
So, this is one of the things. I didn't know how the format of this whole thing would go, and I didn't know if screen share would be a thing, so I just sent some of the assets so I can talk about them. But if screen share is a thing, is it a thing?
We can do it. It's one of those things we should probably set up ahead of time.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. So, anyways, this asset was created from scratch. Basically, I took the Dodd guy PNG from the website, drew a circle around it, And then the texture is a stock metal texture. I want to say it's like brushed copper. Comes from this library of royalty-free things I do. I added some shading to it. I added a thing there. The DoD guy, I basically duplicated and shifted. There's probably a plugin for that. But I tried to do the laser engrave effect on the DoD guy to make this coin. And then I took that coin and the background from Majora's Mask, and I used a mask, mesh distort to rotate it in space so the coin would be flat and at the same angle as the clocks on the screen. And I just copied and pasted it a bunch of times and then manually put it and resized it in each one. So you could probably take the Majora's Mask one and lay it over there and it would be mostly 1-to-1. And then later whenever you get to the whole image. But yeah, this is the Dodd coin. So I mean, if we wanted to have this as a thing, I could probably have my brother-in-law make me one. Because he has all the machines that can do this kind of stuff. So maybe I should do that. Yeah, so this is the actual captured thing from Majora's Mask. And I extracted the link from it and I used him as an asset. And then otherwise, you see how all of the clocks are pointing a different direction and it's consistent? I actually used that when rotating the Dodd guy.
Ooh. Nice.
And this is kind of a thing that, like, I don't apologize for this, and I know that there's a bunch of people that would be able to do this exact thing that I did in a quarter of the time because they know all of the automated tools to do it. You know, they would probably be like, oh, this is just an array. You put it on there, and then you put the center point, and it'll array it out for you. I don't know any of that stuff. Like, I don't know any of the power user shortcut tools. So, yeah, anytime I do something like this, I'm doing everything one by one as inefficiently as possible. Because I'm after the end result, not the process.
I'm right there with you. That would be the way I do it too. And so that's the Dodd guy that you took and put in the place of each one of those clocks.
Yep. And, you know, the wonderful thing about a mesh distort is that if you know how to do it, you can do literally anything with it. And so I do know how to use a mesh distort, so almost anything I do that requires manipulation in space, I will manually do it with a mesh distort. And I know about perspective and I know about all that stuff, so it's like I can kind of manually recreate it. Is it efficient? No. Not at all. Otherwise, the only other asset that I used was the Reaper timeline. And I literally just opened a new project. I think I set it to 120 beats per minute, or like 60 beats a minute maybe. And just took a screenshot of it. And this would be a thing that if I could screen share, I'd actually show it. But if you show the banner art again, I used that timeline for the obvious place that it's there, you know, the 1.1 on the left and the 29.1 on the right. The cursor on the far right is actually right at 60 seconds. And so duplicated it, did a motion blur on the opposite side that I needed it. But the fun fact is that in the back of the banner art, you see that kind of sunburst thing. Kind of shaped like a star. That is the timeline that I put into a 8-point star and then added circular motion blur from the center. And it's kind of like that one ROM hack of Majora's Mask where they replaced every texture with Nicolas Cage's face. I kind of will approach art like that it's like I have 2 or 3 assets, I'm going to make everything out of those 2 or 3 assets, because I can't be bothered to get anything else. I'm not going to... If I can make it work with 2 or 3 assets, I'll make it work with 2 or 3 assets. And the timeline was... I got a lot of mileage out of that for this one.
Yeah.
I may not have actually sent you the actual banner, but...
I'm struggling with Twitch at the moment. I'm trying to figure out a way to show this. And I am failing. But it's behind us. It's scrolling on the screen slowly behind us. If I turn off our images, you'll see it a little bit better.
You're gonna make me disappear.
I'll make myself disappear too. We're in this together, John.
I think though anybody who's watching can probably just also go to the website and they can see it proper.
Yeah.
But yeah, that starburst thing in the back right behind Link is just the Reaper timeline. And I had just gotten a new computer.
Dip, that's so
right
cool.
before making this. And I found out how underpowered my old machine is versus this one. Because I actually tried to do that shape for my original idea by manipulating the timeline as a 3D object. And it started to slow down a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is going to slow down with the image editor like it did in the other one. And then I found out that, I didn't really do it properly, so now it was taking 129 gigs. And that's how much space that object took up. Just because I ended up making it, like, the image is 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. I want to say that the actual timeline object was 100,000 pixels long. Because I didn't set it up properly, so it totally almost shorted the machine out.
Yeah.
But the other things that might be interesting to people is that there's a saturation ramp, and it's kind of obvious. It goes from the center and goes out, and that's why the coins at the top are bright red and the ones down below are much more desaturated. Link is the center point of the saturation ramp, and then there's also a camera motion blur from the bottom, and that's why everything's, moving upward. This image was supposed to be just this kind of disorienting mess of motion blur, because I like doing that. And then naturally, because I have visual snow, I slapped noise over it and then a CRT filter. Because I can't have anything be pristine. I have to have noise on it.
Yeah, that's your thing.
I also played around with chromatic aberration, but, you should be happy that people have convinced me to stop putting chromatic aberration on everything.
No, I'm not happy about that. I want you to keep doing it. I have a very firm stance on this opinion. John.
Really, I'm putting it on all the places it's not appropriate to put it, so.
That's an artistic choice. Alright, John, is there anything else you want to talk? I mean, this has been Brevity Month. We've been talking for a while. Is there anything else you wanted to go over tonight?
Not specifically. I did actually answer all the questions on the
let me pull
the
that
script, but I was like, we're probably not going to go on the script, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff ended up getting talked about.
I don't know if you could tell,
so
but I'm
really
very much off script tonight.
worried about it.
What was your first video game that you remember playing?
I'm seeing if there's anything I typed. Oh, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
100%.
You've covered that a
was
few times.
1 year after it came out.
I love that game so much.
Yeah. I don't really do much with the music from that game.
That's a game that I'll
I
cover.
actually was reminded about the controversy around it.
Controversy around it?
You know there's no actual official Spanish translation of the original?
I did not know that.
If you want to play the original Ocarina of Time in Spanish, there is a 130-page book you can buy that has the English on the left and the Spanish on the right, and you're supposed to play the game with the book. And that was a big deal. But anyways, let's see. I played all the mainline Zeldas growing up until Twilight Princess. And then the other really big game that I don't really talk about much was Tales of Symphonia. That was probably the first game I put over 500 hours into.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of stuck on the no Spanish translation of Ocarina of Time. I'm just furious about that.
Yeah, that's the original N64 version. It's there was one completed, but the actual PAL version of it does not have that as an option. So I was going back to play it in Spanish because I played Majora's Mask in Spanish. And so I'm like, well, let me do Ocarina of Time. And every time I'm like, why is there no... Oh, right, that's why there's no Spanish. Ocarina of Time 3D had one. You know, it did. But, like, yeah, there's none on the original. But I'm just kind of having a look over the sheet, seeing if there's anything that would be kind of worth talking about. You know, the inspirational things that may help people. So this is an interesting thing some people may get. How did you find out about the VGM community? I found out about Overclocked Remix in 2004. And it took me until 2016 to consider myself... Oh yeah. It took me until 2016 to consider myself worthy to attempt something. So I was looking at it like, okay, I finally graduated college with a degree in music composition. Now I can attempt something for OCR.
Interesting.
Don't do that. If you see something, just be a part of it. Just show up.
I submitted to OCR in 2005, and I got rejected. Rightfully so. What was your first OCR submission?
It was a big band arrangement of the title screen from Metroid.
Was it accepted?
And I got accepted on the first submission.
Nice.
Yeah. But I also had it stacked because, you know, the arrangement was pretty good quality and the production was And the production wasn't great, but the performances were good. I actually really liked OCR. They accepted a lot of stuff that I did that was much more artistic and much more experimental.
So you're saying you hate DoD and you love OCR?
No.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I might be at
I
that
don't really
point
go
where
around OCR anymore. Like, I'm trying to think of it. I don't really go around. But they did show me that there was a time and a place for everything. Because, like, my reflecting pool arrangement, which was the underwater theme from Super Mario Brothers, slowed down to 10%. And then I wrote counterpoint around it. And so it's unrecognizable as the underwater theme, because that wasn't the point. And I got so much hate for that, and it was delightful. I loved it.
that would have landed pretty well
But
at DoD.
it kind of did teach me that's like, okay, it would. And that's kind of the thing, is that it's like, if I were to do something like that here, I would execute it way differently, just because it's like, okay, I need to respect the audience that's going for it. They have expectations, and I need to at least recognize that those expectations are there. My early OCR stuff was just making what I wanted to make for the sake of me making it, and that's why nobody listens to it.
I have mixed feelings on that. I feel like making stuff for the sake of making stuff is pretty goddamn cool. But that might be why I'm over here at DoD instead of OCR.
I do that now. It's like, I do that now, but with a much different... it's really like the idea of, okay, I'm going to make something for the sake of making it, but I also want to present it in a way that respects the fact that other people would listen to it. And so it's not compromising what I'm doing, but it is... You know, I'm kind of over the phase of just making stuff for me for the sake of making stuff for me.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff that I make, I think, is pretty cool, and I have so much enjoyment making it, but it's a lot more kind of aimed at, hey, look, come into my world, but you're a guest in my world. I'm going to treat you like a guest in my world, and not like a, yeah, you're here, deal with it.
John, anything else that you want to talk about tonight?
Let's see, kind of looking at all the other things. Not particularly. Let's see, I don't think I answered any of the other ones on the thing, but yeah, I guess the only other thing that I kind of have to do is that, you know, there are doors that are open to anybody, and a lot of people won't consider walking through them, and they'll disqualify themselves. You don't say yes to everything, but like, my career as an artist has literally just been me seeing needs and stepping into them. And I think the takeaway from all of this is that no matter what you're doing, if you see a door, at least look through the door. And don't just automatically close it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an artist. I don't claim to be. But I can do it when needed. And the only reason that that's true is because I have just stepped into that role. Same thing with music. Everything I've done in music has always been, oh, well, let me just look through this door. And then some of the times I get sucked through it. But...
I get weirdly emotional about just like the idea of art. So you'll have to forgive me for a second, but yeah. The necessity of invention. It's good stuff.
It's what makes us human, you know?
Survival is insufficient.
I'll end with this joke. It was like, you know, the first humans who could be considered humans with sentience and all that, they were surviving and they were running away from some rhino or something, and they run up a tree, and the first art was when they looked back at the rhino from the top of the tree and went the first art.
I like that so much. John, as always, it has been a pleasure hanging out, spending this time with you. Hopefully, the people that have joined us tonight have enjoyed themselves as well. This has been Dwelling of Duels. We've had our Brevity Month listening party. We've had our John Stacy banner artist breakdown. This is going to be up on YouTube tomorrow. If you're watching it right now, that probably doesn't matter as much because you might not feel like rewatching it, but if you haven't seen it yet, this will be on a platform you can watch it on. And if you're watching it there, you will have gotten to this part and it won't be news anymore. But yeah. John, do you want to take us out with a duels, or a keep it right here, or would you like to send us out?
Wait. Let me do it this way. Where's my Reaper window? There it is. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna drop the pitch. Let's drop it. Duels.
Keeping it right here. This is Dwelling of Duels.
Nothing but rock. The cursed voice. Is that the one octave? Nothing but. Wait.
Nothing but. Wait, John, are you using effects? Were you just talking like that?
Oh, I'm not doing the vocal fry thing.
Oh, so like, cause me,
okay.
I'll go back and
fourth. You know. Do you want me to do a Gollum?
Well,
I'll do a.
No.
You don't want it?
I mean, you can. I'm not going to stop you.
Stupid Herbert.
Now, the first is whenever you change the format.
This is Dwelling of Duels. Precious.
And so you can make.
We loves the sliding right.
I love that.
I'm hearing noise from upstairs. I might have terrified
the
Jackie.
fun thing would be to kind of. I guess the fun thing would be to kind of sign off would be if I actually talked with the accent that I grew up with before I flattened it. You know, howdy y'all, I'm John Stacy, I play the French horn. This is what I used to talk like when I was growing up. This is what our whole family talks like. I flattened my accent because I decided it would be better to be part of society and all that. But this is how I'm going to sign off. I should probably do this all the time. It's, you know, what with the whole rebranding thing and all that. But
so I don't.
My wife just yelled across the house, "No."
I don't have the accent at my disposal, but my whole family's from Brooklyn, and the story I always tell about that is when I was a teenager, I got a book about like the history of Brooklyn, like stories about Brooklyn, and I'm reading through this, and I'm like, I'm reading about this one neighborhood, and I go to my mom, I was like, Mom, I love this book, but what's Dyker Heights? She's like, you mean Dyka? I'm like, oh. I had never heard anyone say it with the R before, so when I saw it spelled Dyker, I was like, what's Dyker Heights? It's Dyka Heights. You know, you go to Dyka Heights. This has been.
Oh, that's lovely. I love things like that.
It's so
I wish
good.
there was still more.
I've been Evil Sonic. With me has been John Stacy. This has been the Dwelling of Duels Brevity Month listening party and banner artist breakdown. We have 46 hours, 45 hours to get our votes in to write reviews. You can write reviews for however long as you like, but if you want them to count towards your votes, get them in within the next 45 hours. This has been Brevity Month. Continue keeping it right here because this is Dwelling of Duels. Duels.